Hello, welcome to Reed's Fruit and Herbs Clinic. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I have two questions here and I'm going to just tackle them together. The first question says, hello, Dr. Rita. Can you tell me the things to avoid? I've been diagnosed of fibroid. Things to avoid to not make it to grow more than it is. Then the second question says, hello, Dr. Rita. I have fibroids, about 4 of them measuring. No need to read up the details, but she has fibroids. She says, please, apart from surgery, what can I do at home to help this fibroids? So basically, this video is going to be addressing these two questions, which are things to avoid when you've been diagnosed with fibroids and other things you can do apart from surgery. And I want to say to you that if you have very, very big size of fibroids and you are bleeding and it's causing blood loss, I would advise that you do surgery. But if your fibroid is moderate, if it's something you can manage, then I would advise that you would take some of this advice. But then these by themselves may not be enough, but they can certainly help you when you do them. So what are the things to avoid when you've been diagnosed with fibroids? And you don't even have to wait to be diagnosed. You can just start avoiding these things now, and then you may not be diagnosed with fibroids. So one of the things you want to avoid are low fiber diet, food that don't have fiber. These foods take longer to digest. Now, when they are not properly digested, they cause your body to accumulate toxins that are favorable. There are things that favor the growth of fibroid tumors. These tumors, so these food that are low in fiber, they favor the growth of fibroids. So you want to avoid them. So example, now I'm not saying rice causes fibroids. No, I'm just saying food that, I'm just giving an example now. So for example, you have rice and stew. There's no fiber in it. So you want to make sure that if you want to have rice and stew, for instance, for lunch or for any of your meals, you want to have enough of vegetables. Now the vegetables are not spiced. You don't add vegetable as spices. No, the vegetables should be a lot. In fact, you should have more vegetables than your rice. There's a small example showing up on the screen now to show you how much fiber should be on your plate. That's an example that you should get. Another thing that you want to avoid, I tell you, and I always tell my patients, avoid red meat, cow meat, avoid it. Why should you avoid it? You see, cow meat has estrogen. The estrogen in it mimics the estrogen in the body, and this causes more problem. I want you to know that one of the things that causes fibroid in itself, I didn't go into what causes fibroid because, of course, you already been diagnosed. You can actually read that up. I just want to go straight to the question I'm asked. But let me just let you know that one of the things that causes fibroid is abnormal high levels of estrogen in the body. People who have fibroids, some of them have, in fact, most of them have hormonal imbalance. And one of the hormones that usually contributes is estrogen. So you don't want to eat food that causes your estrogen levels to be high. So you want to stop taking cow meat. You can instead take lean meat, like your chicken, your poultry, you can take that. So you really want to stop that. I really usually advise a lot of my patients, and I've seen a lot of results from people who even stick to that, in addition to the treatment that I give to them. So they avoid red meat. If I just say them, avoid anything that comes from cow, which includes milk, which includes the other part, the organs. Just avoid all those things, because estrogen is not destroyed by heat. Don't be deceived about that, because when you take it into the body now goes into conversion, begins to digest it. And when it's similar to the one that your body produces, it's not the same, it's similar. So when you take something that is similar to the original, of course, what fake, anything that is not original, what it will do, those ones begin to cause this growth, these cells to grow abnormally. Another thing you want to avoid, inflammatory substances. These are foods that increases the rate of inflammation in the body. And one of such are sugar. Sugar increases the rate of inflammation in the body. You want to stop taking your fizzy drinks. You want to stop taking artificial drinks. You really need to stop it if you want to really, keep this fibroids. One thing with this growth is that once you can, there's a study that I watched on one of the recent modern ways of treating fibroids from a research I watched. And I found out that one of the ways that it's being done right now, they starve the growth. And when anything you starve, it will stop growing. And when it stops growing, it starts dying. And that's one of the advantage of these things to avoid. You starve the growth. When you're able to starve the tumors, they won't grow as much or as fast as they should. And you may even be able to live with it. If it's not giving, if some people, it's the pains from the effect of the fibroid that make them even go to do tests. So when you are able to slow down the rate of the growth and it's shrinking, then you may just be able to stay, with it and be fine. Another thing you want to stop is caffeine. I'm telling you, you may argue, but I'm telling you, these are things that, they are inflammatory. Alcohol. Don't just say, oh, just a little. Can you drink this? You need to decide, do you want it to stop growing or do you want it to grow with you? You have to decide. So you need to stop alcohol. And then you need to stop anything that depresses the immune system. What are those things? Those are processed foods, your fries, those things. They reduce the level of immune system. So you want to stop some of these things. So what should you do? What are the things that you can do if you have been diagnosed of fibroid? So what are the things you can do? Of course, this person asking, so I've answered the first question. This is not limited. Answers are not limited to this, but these are the basic things. These 5 things I'm telling you, if you can't do them, every other point I will give, they fall under this, which are 1, you have to avoid low fibrous diet. Number 2, you need to avoid anything that enhances estrogen levels. An example of such are your meat, your red meat, you need to avoid dairy products and all that. Avoid inflammatory substances. I've mentioned some of the inflammatory substances to you. You have examples, you have your sugar, your caffeine, alcohol. All these tend to be inflammatory. They flare up. They increase the level of ESR. ESR is one of the enzymes in the body that lets you check the amount of inflammation. You can go do the test. It's a very simple test. You will know whether your level of your inflammatory rate in the body is high. Another thing that you need to avoid are things that suppresses the immune system. Anything that can suppress your immune system, you need to stop it. You need to stop eating processed foods. You need to stop eating fried food. You need to go natural. Eat natural whole meals, And when you do these things, you keep your body in a state where it can be able to, deal with this thing. So what are the things that you can do, aside from surgery? Diet is very, very important. You need to eat diet. Since diet, in case you don't know, there are some foods you eat that affect your hormonal levels. So you need to pay good attention to your diet. It's very important. You don't want to eat foods that are estrogenic, and some of these foods are estrogenic. Some of them are hormonal. Hormones that are given to these animals. You have to know the source of your protein, your meat, your chicken. It's very important. Some of these beds nowadays, it doesn't even stay. You see that they give them, they inject them so they can grow very fast. These things, when you eat them, accumulating over a period of time, they form growth in your body and they enhance the growth that is already existing. So one thing you want to do, aside from surgery in treating fibroid, you want to stop estrogenic diet. You want to stop it. So as much as possible, take a lot of vegetables. If you can reduce your meat intake drastically, stop eating cow meat. You can take goat meat if you are sure it's native goat, fine. If it's organic, you can take them. And then if your chicken is organic too. But if you don't know what source it is, I tell you, just stick to snails and some other things that are naturally bred. You see, these foods in themselves are not a problem. The problem is now that the chemicals that are used to aid in their growth, to aid their speed in growth, they are these things that they are estrogenic. They encourage growth. They encourage formation of growth. You find a lot of women right now are battling with fibroids. Some people have even written to me and said, oh, they've done the surgery once or twice and it has grown back because you keep eating estrogenic diet. Stop it, stop it. Another thing now that you can do is to take a lot of soy products. Soy products are very good because they have phytoestrogens. These phytoestrogens are substances that regulate estrogen production. Remember, I told you that abnormal levels of estrogen encourages fibrous growth in the uterus, So what you want to do, you want to eat foods that are phytoestrogenic. These are foods that are able to regulate So you want to take a lot of soy products, flax seeds. Oh man, that's very lovely. You're looking for something that has fiber, get a lot of flax seed. Take a spoon of flax seed with your meals. You can add them to your cereals. You know, they are very beautiful. You can even take them by themselves. You know, so take soy milk, soy product that you made, not the ones that you bought. Go get soya beans and produce your milk. I'm going to do a video some other time on how to make your soya milk, or you can even check online, you know, but get soy products. They are phytoestrogenic and they help to regulate the levels of estrogens in your body. Hallelujah. Second point again, your greens. You know, you need to take a lot of vegetables. And for people who have fibroids, one of the things that they experience is excessive bleeding. So you need to take a lot of greens. Greens will provide you with vitamin K. Vitamin K helps for blood clotting, you know, so it will help the menstrual flow. It will help to reduce it. Now, there are sea vegetables that are good, such as kelp. Kelps are very high in iodine. They are a mineral that are responsible for a healthy thyroid. You know, apart from estrogen, abnormal levels of estrogen, abnormal levels of your thyroid hormone, your thyroid gland, if it's not working well, it may also contribute to fibroids growing. So you want to take sea kelps. You want to ensure that you take your salts is rich in iodine. And then, so supposing you already are experiencing heavy bleeding, there's something that you can take that is very good for bleeding in menses. Those are blackstrap molasses. Just take 1 teaspoon of it every day, and you will see that after 3 weeks, your menses would have been regulated. I don't sell it. I don't have it. You have to look for it online and get it. So like I told you, you can take flax seeds. Flax seeds are very beautiful. Ensure that you're taking 1 tablespoon in the morning, 1 tablespoon at night. It will help you. Now, help you. Then fruits. What are the fruits you should take? Fruits like apples. Apples are very good. Cherry red. Oh, beautiful. You can get a lot of cherry red. Cherry reds are very good. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Why do you need to take these particular fruits I just mentioned to you? These things I just mentioned to you are apples, cherry red, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Why should you take them? Because they contain phytochemical indole-3-carbinol, which supports the liver's detox of estrogen. Another thing that causes, abnormal levels of estrogen in the body is when the liver doesn't properly, remove estrogen from the body, when there's a breakdown and it's not properly broken down. So when you take these foods, these fruits and vegetables, what do? They support the liver's detox. When the body's, balancing itself, they support the body. Another thing that's very good, other vegetables that are also good are your beetroot, your carrots, your artichokes, dandelion greens, garden eggs. These vegetables also are very good in indole-3-carbinol, which supports liver detoxification. So I'm going to give you a little remedy that you should take right now. So a little procedure of how to take your dandelion. For instance, you want to take dandelion. So you get a small teacup, quantity that fills a teacup, wash with water, rinse it properly, and then you blend it with a glass of water, like 250 mils of water. And then, you blend it and you drink immediately. You do that for 7 days. What would this do? This will help your liver very, very effectively. Just do this first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and you find that it will help your liver. Another thing that you can do again, you can take a mix of red apple, green apples, carrots, blend them together, just drink. These things are things that help give you a boost. Like you take a boost, they give the body a boost. So these are things that you can do to help you. And then, of course, you want to be sure that you do not have infection. One thing that I always tell people to do when they are trying to do home remedies for fibroids, you can make your onion garlic tea. Very beautiful. Instead of drinking something you're not sure of, why don't you make an onion garlic tea? How do you do that? Get a very small ball of onion, very small, like about this size, the very smallest size. You pound it, and then you also add like two cloves of garlic, two pieces, not the whole ball, 2 pieces. Pound it together, add a teacup of hot water in the mortar, and then allow it to cover it up for about 5 or 6 minutes. Let it simmer, not simmer, let it steep. When it steeps, it will become warm. So you sieve it and you drink it. Drink it every day. When you drink it the first time, you may feel a bit like as if your eyes are turning you. not to worry. Don't do it more than 7 days and don't do them together. So first, you can decide to do the dandelion green for 1 week. That's take a teacup of dandelion quantity, blend with 250 ml of water. You can decide to sieve, you can decide not to. I prefer not to sieve it. When you don't sieve it, you have fiber. You're looking for something that has fiber. So you add it to it and take it for 1 week, take it for another week. Now, if you have very little growth of fibroid, this would help you. But if you have very serious, big growth that are already very protruding, I would advise that you seek medical advice. This may not be enough. So if you have more questions, you can visit my website or www.askdrritashow.com, or you can click on the website on the link there. And then if you have concerns, maybe you have some fibroids and you really want to do serious treatment, then you can also consult me and I'll be willing to help you on that. But till next time, again, send me your questions. I'm going to deal with it. Remember to subscribe on our channel so that you can watch the next video. Have a great day. God bless you.